Like, I think the first Humpty Dumpty is 20, and another is 20. Humpty Dumpty, even just the first one, I have not completed it, and
it's so
I
hard,
don't know
isn't
that
it?
I'll be able to, yeah.
My daughter is a whiz at that level, and I can't do the first one.
Buyer's remorse.
Hello, and welcome to Buyer's Remorse. I'm Darren.
I'm Justin.
And on this show, Buyer's Remorse, we choose a game for each other to play that's in our library that we haven't played before, and we give it a shot for an hour to get a good feel for the game and see if it was worth the money and is a good game, or if it's a horrible game and it's a Buyer's Remorse. And I don't know what I'm saying, so I'll edit this one. No, you're editing this one.
I am. And all of that's going to stay in now.
Okay, fine. What gem did you play the other day?
Well, I'd say that you threw me a softball, but really, you threw me a hard ball, because this is Rock of Ages 3.
Nice.
It's called Rock of Ages 3 Make and Break. I believe it's called that because it has a community map creation system.
Okay.
The developer, Ace Team, Giant Monkey Robot, publisher, Modus Games, and 3Goo. The recent reviews, very positive with 10, overall mostly positive with 436. This is just from, as we record it last year. By the time this episode comes out, it'll be
2025.
We're not quite that far ahead, but I think they'll be a bit further along. It's $30 at base, but it does often go on sale. I got this, as did you, I believe, through the Humble Choice Monthly. It used to be Humble Monthly, and now it's Humble Choice.
Yeah.
Same stuff, different name. You gave this to me foolishly because at the time, you were quite angry with the game. You were playing it, and you hadn't made it through the tutorial yet.
The tutorial was a bit of a nightmare.
I do agree with that, but I think it's less of a nightmare for me, who has played the other two games. This was your first one.
No, this was my second one. I played 2 first, and I really enjoyed 2, and then I played 3. I did go back and play 1, and I couldn't finish it. It was really rough around the edges. But it's to be expected, isn't it? 2 was brilliant for me. I think also I gave you 3 because I saw you hadn't played it. And I had been playing it for a while with my daughter by this point, and I was like, "Come on, Justin, you're gonna love this. You know, this is my Christmas present for you."
Yeah, I did really enjoy it. I mean, to ruin the ending there, but
spoilers.
I love the first game. It was so innovative and different, and then they've added a bit more to 2, and then they've added a little bit more to 3. But it's pretty much, you liked what you got before. We're gonna do it again,
and here's some more.
Yeah. There are definitely, even within the first hour, I noticed a few buggy things, which I had a little problem with. I'm not even sure if they're really bugs, just some choices they made that were maybe not the best choices. Things that I think that they could have fixed and probably could still fix if they wanted to. But let's get into it. I haven't really looked at the make section because I assumed that was just map creation.
I've had a go at it. It's basically, you can create a map, you get an achievement basically for even opening it or placing a block. So if you're a Chivo Hunter, you should go and do that. And also you can play the other community maps on there. And some people have made some mental maps on this game.
I'm sure they have, which is amazing. That's the type of thing that can make this game last forever.
Yeah.
If you have a strong community that loves it. And I think that this is one of those games where it came in, is a bit rough around the edges, the first one, but it was so interesting. This idea of tower defense plus marble physics plus racing?
Yeah, why not?
Those are...
Can't wait to see your tags at the end of this.
Well, those are probably the 3 tags. I think I had one that was different, but I might just go with those 3 because those are definitely the 3 that seem to apply most to the game. This one, much like 2 had a bunch of extra things you could do. They had the ski boulder, they had the racing. They've just incorporated that stuff into the main game now. And it being this kind of earn enough stars to unlock the next level. But you don't have to spend your stars. You just have to have enough, which I really appreciate. It's not a constant, ooh, I got 10. Now I'll buy this level. Now I have to get 10 again.
Well, now I've got to get 20 for the next one, yeah.
There are some things where there's looking at the beautiful star ocean map they've kind of created. There are things that have the same value. Oh, this one is 20 and this one is 20. Like, I think the first Humpty Dumpty is 20 and another is 20. Humpty Dumpty, even just the first one, I have not completed it. And
it's so
I
hard,
don't know
isn't
that
it?
I'll be able to, yeah.
My daughter is a whiz at that level, and I can't do the first one.
It rolls really terribly.
And that music grates on my nerves.
I will say this, they have added a couple more boulders. So if you haven't played in a while, you might want to check it out just to see. They've added one called the Hot Potato, which will roll very much like Humpty Dumpty, but I think that it does a tremendous amount of damage at the end.
Right.
And they've also re-added the paintball, which is similar to the tar boulder, where everywhere you jump, they can't place anything from then on. But each time you jump, the boulder gets a little bit smaller and smaller. But apparently this is something that people loved in the second one and requested to be put back in the third one, and they've added it.
Oh, really? Because that's one of the balls that I never used. I just never used that one. What was your favourite ball?
So far, I really like the basic one because it's just good all around. It has one of the best speeds, at least from what I've seen so far. I haven't unlocked everything yet, obviously. But that one, for the obstacle courses, where you have to get through as quickly as possible with tons of explosions and things happening, I choose the armor ball.
Right.
For some levels, I really like the tar boulder just because it stops those spots from being used in the future, so you can kind of limit what they do to you. When I use that one, I usually go really slow on the first run, and I'm just jumping all the time,
yeah.
trying to stop them. Those are probably my favorite. I haven't tried yet the balloon one again.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which I think would let me do some shortcuts, which might be interesting.
Finding shortcuts in this game is what I loved, because that's the exploration part of it. Have you got the Halo boulder yet? The one where you can double jump?
No, that will probably be one of my favorites when I do get it. Yeah. I just love it. I love the opening scenes for the levels where they have ridiculous animation that I think is similar to Four Last Things, where they've taken images from famous paintings and animated them. They're usually quite funny. In this one, you start off with your character with the Cyclops and smelling meat, very hungry. The whole crew from the ship goes inside. They're eating. The Cyclops traps them in. There's a funny scene where, for some reason, it wakes up and gets startled and the club hits it in the eye, so now it's blind, which is not how it actually happened in the story. But it's very Saturday morning cartoon funny, and I love it. Them riding underneath the sheep to get out, and him checking each one. Oh, yeah, that's a sheep. Oh, that's a sheep. And then they get out and then call back. You don't even hear the words.
No.
But you know he's mocking him in some way. That's how good the way they do the animation is that even without words, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
So from then on, when you see the Cyclops, he's just throwing boulders, and that's exactly why the boulder at the beginning of the game joins the game, because they had a leak in the boat, but the boulder blocks the leak, and so they're able to sail off. There's the scene with the Cyclops then going to complain to Poseidon, and Poseidon starts to make a curse for the boat, but accidentally breaks the shelf, and a whole bunch of curses fall down, which actually leads into a later cutscene where a fly comes in, and then that affects Genghis Khan's son. Like, it's just...
Man, if you haven't played this game and you're listening to this, you must just be sitting there thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Basically, the stories go through different eras completely. So you have Greek myth, Norse myth, I think, just all sorts of things, as well as Humpty Dumpty, so that's a Wonderland section. And I just got to an area called Spaghetti Land.
Oh, the flying spaghetti monster. Yeah.
Which I haven't really got to play yet, but I know that can't be a real place.
It is, man. In my mind.
But it's all through the world. It's all different myth and folklore from different cultures being brought in. I think the first one was much more...
It was mostly Greek and Roman mythology, wasn't it?
Yeah. Whereas this one, they've really spread out. I think the second one they spread out, and this one they've spread out even more. I like it. I just really like the animation. I like the idea of it. I don't always like it when I'm losing.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating.
Especially when there are times where it just feels so unfair. I get one boulder to choose from, but they often seem to choose whichever one they feel like at the time.
Yeah, a good one to counter the one that you've just chosen, yeah.
But also, their first run, they have one boulder, and then the second run, they seem to have a different boulder. And that feels very unfair. They should get one just like I do. They often seem to have way more different types of obstacles to put up than we do. But that is, I believe, the point. They are always a little bit more powered than you, and you have to beat them. It's frustrating until you win, and then it feels very good.
Yeah.
And I think that's what keeps the game working for me, is the fact that when I do finish the level, it feels very good.
Mm-hmm.
As far as gameplay, it's just fun, and I've gone through it. I have found, though, with this one, I'm not sure if I like the new strategy of bringing all the mini games in as part of the main game.
Okay.
Mostly because I'm just not sure how people will react to that.
Well, here's how I reacted to it.
Mm-hmm.
In the second one, I didn't even know there was, what's it called, the skee ball. Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was in the second one, to be honest. I didn't play the mini games. I just was like, here's the game, I'm going to play it. Now that they're in 3, and that gives the main game, more variety for me. And so now I have a go at everything, even ones that I thought that I wouldn't enjoy, but I'm like, oh no, I kind of like that level now. So I like the fact that you've got to diversify your skills almost, because each game has a different, same core skill, but winning that skee ball, man, trying to hit that 6 at the back is just like...
All right. But skee ball, the ski boulder thing, that was the one that I have found the most problem with.
Right.
Just because I didn't understand how it worked. I thought I had to race to the end and I had to get the biggest score.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read the little text at the beginning that said, hit the little targets on your way.
Ah, yeah, because that's the multipliers at the end, yeah.
No, that's the point.
Yeah, that's the points. But
so I was getting 5 times multiplier on 0 because I was avoiding all the obstacles.
Right.
And I was very frustrated, and I was trying to look it up, how do points work on Ski Boulder, and I wasn't finding anything. Of course there's nothing, because everybody else has read it, unlike me, and actually figured it out. It wasn't until I was running out of places to get stars that I thought, okay, I've got to try this again and see how it works. And then I noticed all the targets. I think there are a lot of targets on the other one. This is a very weird thing to have. And then just bumping into a couple of them and started to put it together. And then the next time I played Ski Boulder, I saw the text. And oh, yeah, well.
That's my job not to read stuff,
exactly.
Justin.
I'm supposed to be reading those. I think it's me being lazy because I've already played the other 2.
Right, I got this.
Yeah. And I've already done Ski Boulder. And I think in the other one, I don't think that the targets were as important.
This is just a race to the end kind of thing.
That's what I think.
Hit the best.
But maybe I'm just remembering it incorrectly.
Right.
I was just playing against the AI. I only did it a couple times. I thought, oh, this is fun, but it's not that big of a deal. This makes me play those. I think that this is great for adding variety to the game and all the different mini games. I think that is very good as far as, especially the way they've done it, where they have you open up the land and then you have the main story one.
Yeah.
And then you have the race. You have the bomb one, which is basically race against time.
That one is so frustrating sometimes, man. It gets really hard.
It's very frustrating. Typically what happens with me with the bomb ones is I do very good on the first run, but not quite good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to do it again. Getting 3 stars is going to be about impossible for me.
Some of the levels are hard. I've gone through it and tried to collect them all. It's really tough.
That would be one of my biggest complaints, is the end part of that one. Because you get the bomb to the end, and if you go too fast, you fly right through.
There's like a lip at the door where you hit it and you just go, pa-chung!
Yeah. And what's worse, did you ever fly through the back of the castle?
No.
See, I've done it twice now.
Okay.
And each time you fall in that one, any race one, it's going to take about 5 seconds off your clock, because you lose for the falling animation, and then you also lose as the hand is dropping you. To add insult to injury, if you fly out the back of the castle, it will drop you at the back of the castle. So you'd have to slowly creep around the edge to get back to the front again.
That's just an instant restart then, right there.
The bomb, so many instant restarts. I was doing it all the time.
Even when you're going for the golds, if and when you get to that stage where you're going for the golds, it's like if you miss that turn, like restart. Bad corner here, restart. Didn't make that jump, restart. You just got to get in that zone, man.
Going back to Trackmania.
Yeah.
There was also the limited resource, try out the new obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
So the springboards, which is one of my favorite ones.
Right.
That's all you get.
I like that level because it's almost like a tutorial as well because you finally have to sit down with something that you get in your own little world of like, a cow and a cannon man, you know, and it's like, that's all I use. But then it's like, no, give this a shot. See what you think. You're like, oh, those spinny things are actually quite good, you know? So I like that because it introduces you to new things.
Yeah, which it does much better than I would say the tutorial. But yeah. I want to wait on the tutorial just for a minute. Was there another one? No, I think those are all the types.
You mean the levels?
Yeah,
there's one more. The one where is it the race with 3 where you have to hit the bale of hay at the end?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you mentioned that one?
I think I mentioned a race, but yeah, it's a race against time. There's a race against the 2 others, which can be really irritating because they can knock you off the course.
Yeah. Quite often. Yeah.
And I don't seem to be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
Some of the race maps, particularly the Genghis Khan area, that race, there's I don't know what to call them, the round pads that launch you into the air.
Trampolines, I guess. That's what I was calling them.
So the trampolines launch you, but you get launched over another part of the track. And I thought I had to jump on the little part of the track in between, and that took forever to figure out. But that's not where I'm supposed to go. I'm actually supposed to go way over. The point is to have enough speed to jump way over. I was nearly there. I did the full lap of the track again. I think I've done this already. Where am I supposed to be going?
Yeah.
They try to help you out a lot of times with arrows and hand signs pointing you the right way. But there are a few times where I feel like they could have improved the signage just a bit. And that was one of them. Maybe in their testing, nobody had that problem, but I certainly at times seem a bit lost.
I was confused as always with those jumps. You're like, am I jumping in the right direction? It is a bit of trial and error for that. And you're like, oh yeah, I was on the right track. I know exact point where you were. It's like there was a fence at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, and you jump from fence to fence. Yeah.
I think what they have is great for like the main story levels. It's just the races because you are so low on time that you don't have time to even take a second to think, which way am I supposed to be going?
Mm-hmm.
You have to know where you're turning long before you're actually turning. And so that's where I feel like they needed to signal it a little bit better at times.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that that's part of their system is we want you to fall off sometimes.
Yeah.
The tutorial is awful, though.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit to that. It throws way too much at you at once. I really feel like the tutorial here is not designed for people who are new to the game.
Mm-hmm.
The tutorial is designed for people who have played the others and know it very well. But even for me, it was very frustrating. The Avalanche, which is another minigame I didn't talk about, where they just hurl 10 boulders at you at a time.
That's the one.
And you have to do it in 2 waves. Well, when they get to that part here, I didn't know what was going on. They're saying, oh, the Cyclops is going to attack. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. I didn't know what was really coming. I didn't understand he's going to send 10 of them at you.
Yeah.
Good luck. It's a different way to play. It's much more tower defense. But I like it. It's a lot of fun, in particular because it gives you a chance to really use your Cloud Thunderbolt.
That's really satisfying.
In 2, there's an achievement for being able to destroy a boulder using the Cloud because it's not as common. When you're just doing the story parts, when you're racing against the other side, as soon as your boulder is ready, you want to go. So you don't often have a lot of time to sit there and just attack. But it is a very powerful attack.
Yeah, it's good. It's really satisfying when you click on them and you just nuke one of them. Yeah, that's awesome.
With the tutorial as well, I don't know why they've made this choice, but they've added voice.
Mm-hmm.
When in the rest of the game, it doesn't exist, and in the other games, it doesn't exist. I don't know why they decided to add voice. It just feels so out of place here.
Maybe they outsourced it.
It just feels so wrong. Like, oh, okay, why is this guy talking? And I'm glad that it's only to the tutorial. I really don't want to see that in Rock of Ages 4. I think part of what makes this game work so well as a series is the consistency with those cutscenes, keeping them not voiced, keeping them kind of universal for everyone.
Yeah.
I think that they should continue with that. The voice wasn't terrible, but it just felt wrong in this game.
Yeah, you'll definitely save on the localization budget if you keep it the same as Rock of Ages 2.
As far as my hour, though, I did play through, and then, I mean, you're going to ask, but...
I've already seen you. You back on, man.
I've put in about 5 hours already.
Brilliant.
If I wasn't busy with other stuff, I probably would have put more hours in.
Mm.
It's very addictive. The fact that there are so many mini games, the variety is enough to keep me going. When it was the main story, I'd play through and get to a point where, okay, it took a long time to get through that campaign with that, whoever the enemy was at the time. I'll take a break now because I'm not ready to sit down and do another hour of learning the course, setting it up, being so close to beating them, but just not.
Yeah.
In this game in particular, there are a lot of times where one of us seemed to be on 0 health, but the game continued on. There must be just 1 hit point or something. But with the mini games, say, okay, well, I'm just going to do some of these other things. Oh, I'm sick of this race. Let me go do a ski boulder. Oh, I'm sick of this. Let me go open up a new level. The levels themselves, the main levels, are actually worth less stars than most of the other things.
Yeah.
Which is a bit shocking. But it seems to work. I think that part of that has to do with the star system and how much each star is worth.
It seems very balanced. It's well done.
The fact that, yeah, with the exploding boulder, for example, oh, well, we've got 3 different times. We have a bronze time, silver time, gold time. The main campaigns, you get 1 for winning. You get 2 if you leave 50% of your door's health, which I'm really struggling to do. Maybe when I have the better obstacles in the future.
And when you get better boulders maybe as well.
I love it, though. Like, I really have enjoyed playing it, even with falling through the back of the castle, which I've just realized I'm going to have to add. What I do now is I need to finish about 5 seconds before I would normally, so I can slow down enough to just get to the explosion area.
Oh, the trick is to just hammer it down, never slow down, but just tap the spacebar or whatever you've got in your control just to jump, and just jump that lip in through the door. So basically when you're about a second away from the door, hit space, jump over that lip, and then just hit the spacebar again to detonate once you're inside, and then you blow everything up.
All right, I'll give that a try. That's got to be better because I just don't have time. That's why I'm getting silvers. And I'm so close. I'm like, I would have been there if only. I had 5 seconds to spare. If only, but either I fly through the lip or I have to slow down so much that the lip doesn't affect me. All right,
jump the lip.
I will give that a try. Like I said, I've probably already played 5 hours. I intend to finish the game. I did the boss fight against the Chinese dragon.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the other boss fights if they're going to be on that level.
Yeah, there's one, yeah. There's a lot that are really good, yeah.
In 2, some of the boss fights were just really irritating, but...
Yeah, because you had to, jump over the ocean and, do some of that. It was just annoying.
They were all interesting, but some of them were more annoying than interesting.
It was like Frogger, wasn't it? It was like ships coming along.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like Frogger, yeah. I didn't like that.
Very interesting, though.
Yeah.
And visually great, but falling in the ocean was just really frustrating. This, though, knocking all the little guys out from underneath it that are holding up the dragon, and then having to jump on top to get the guys from on top of it was great. It was a lot of fun. I did at one point, I was able to stay on top and roll on top, get one guy and then roll to get the other guy. It's great.
Brilliant.
Really, really just fun. And the way they set up that animation was fun as well, of them stabbing the dragon and then just carrying it along.
Well, we kind of talked about the tags. What tags would you give it then officially?
Well, I said tower defense. Would we say marble physics is a type of game?
Yeah, marble rollers, what I think they call them, yeah.
Okay. Well, that would definitely, because I was definitely going to say physics, because you need to understand the physics of the way your boulder goes.
Like momentum and stuff.
Yeah, you have to account for that. This isn't a racing game like Mario Kart where you turn and instantly you turn. You have to start turning before you want to turn.
Yeah, and angling your camera as well helps make a tighter turn and things like that as well, yeah.
And racing probably should be the official one. I put destruction.
Why not?
I think that that's, for me, the more fun aspect.
Yeah.
Is the way that you are crushing through everything, the way you get to squash your opponent at the end. It's very satisfying. It's very fun. The way that the destruction animation looks is great. The way that you can destroy only part of an obstacle and then it remains. So the spinners, you could knock one thing off. I've done it as well where I think I've knocked the top off and I thought that would destroy the whole thing, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Destruction is fun, especially, when it doesn't hurt anyone.
Destruction is fun, but with some caveats.
Yeah.
Who would you recommend this to then? Not me, because I've played it.
You've already played it, but I would definitely recommend it to you because, well, you've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And your daughter in particular. I don't know if I'll ever finish the Humpty Dumpty levels, but I saw her going through one and I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get past some of the earliest obstacles in that first one.
Yeah, and it gets worse. When you get up to there's one that's 100 stars. That's kind of the last one. It's just insane. She's only got one little last jump to master. I can't even get past the first 25% of that level.
Even in the first level, there's a very early section where there's sort of a...
3 trampolines up?
No, I haven't even got to that part yet.
Maybe that's the next one.
There's a part where it's sort of a crescent shape and there's a huge whale in the way. So you basically have to jump into space, let it draw you in, and then land perfectly on a trampoline up into a little fenced off area so that you can get through to a magma area, which I've gotten to. But that whale part took me forever to figure out.
And in the Humpty Dumpty one, you've got lives, which doesn't help.
And a time limit.
And a time limit, that's right. Yeah, they're really out to screw you on that one.
And Humpty doesn't roll very well. If it's going vertically rolling, as soon as it gets to horizontal rolling, then it is impossible to stop. Just the worst controls.
Yeah.
It's not quite the Surgeon Simulator of race games, but it's getting close.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend it. I think it's a lot of fun. I would say I recommend you do give one a try. It's rough around the edges, but it's still good. I think that they're all good. I would recommend it to pretty much everyone. I think if you see the trailer and you think it looks fun, or if you're watching the videos going along with this and it looks like fun, it probably is for you. Give it a try, especially when it goes on sale, because it will definitely...
It goes on massive sales as well. I think I picked up 2 for about $5.
Exactly. And they're well worth that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had many, many hours of fun. Yep. So, Buyer's Remorse then, yeah?
This is totally a confirmation.
Buyer's confirmation.